Okay, we made it to the end. Question 92. Let f be the function with the first derivative. So that's interesting. They give us f prime is equal to sine cubed 4, 0 for the interval, the closed interval from 0 to 2. At what value of x does f attain its maximum value on the closed interval from 0 to 2? So a couple of interesting things here. They're looking for the x value. They don't actually care about what the maximum value is. And that's not always the case, especially on free response. A lot of times they're asking for the max value. However, the max value can occur at the critical points and the end points. Well, let's go ahead and try to figure out the critical points from 0 to 2. And at this stage, I'm always just graphing these now and using lower bound, upper bound. And when I do that, when I type this in, and again, I'm not finding the derivative of this because I already have the derivative. So I'm going to set my window to be x min 0, x max 2. I end up going y min negative 5, y max 5. And when I do that, I'm going to try to do a rough sketch. My function looks something like this. And I'm going to say right now that on a free response you would want to make a table, but in this case we don't actually need to do that because we can actually visually see that this has to be the max, and we don't need to show our work, so we don't need to make a table. If this was an open response, we'd want to make a table with our value here, our value here, and maybe even that include this value, although it's clear that that's going to be a min, so we don't really need to include it, but we would want to include 2. The reason why I don't have to do that for this problem is it's very clear visually, and your calculator is not going to make this mistake, that the amount that we're decreasing here is much more than the amount that we're increasing right here. So if we're decreasing more than we're increasing, well then this has to be the absolute max. To find out what specific point this is, I needed to do go to F5 and then go to 0, and then it asked me some questions, and I moved my cursor a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right to do lower bound, hit enter, and then upper bound, hit enter, and it gave me that point as 1.464 for answer choice C. Again, I want to stress this. If this was a free response, you would want to make the full table. You would want to have x here. You would want to integrate sine of x cubed dx and have some type of other variable here, like, well, I guess you actually want that to be x. You want that to be x. And you want to change this variable to a dummy variable. You can call it u or whatever. We'll talk about that in class, how that needs to work going forward based upon our AP reader coming in yesterday. And then you'd want to have 0, 2, and your a value here with the full decimal place, 5, 9. And then you'd want to integrate with your actual 3 values, and you'd want to say, okay, this is the max, and so on and so forth. But for multiple choice, you don't have to do that. So we made it to the end. It's about 2 in the morning right now, and I'm certainly tired, but we made it to the end. We're going to keep on plugging, and everyone is going to get a 5 on the AP Calculus test. Hooray. We made it just in time for another AP practice test next Tuesday, and then the following week we're going to do another AP practice test, and then the following week we're going to do another AP practice test. I think 4 is a great number of practice tests. Let's do it. Let's all get 5s. Maybe we should take 5 practice tests to get a 5. See everybody tomorrow in class.